I did not realize the scale of the Shamcow's child fan base until yesterday.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's funny because it's like, he's technically a criminal. By technicality.
Some would say that what he's doing is illegal.
And he's endorsing it to children. It's funny because he doesn't even like really endorse it to kids. And if we're going to play devil's advocate, they straight up had an art class about graffiti art. And he was like one of the examples that the teacher was like, all right, come on, kids. Let's see how Shamcow does it. Now you do it.
YUNKJunk!
We pulled up to this like kids soccer tournament yesterday to film with Shamcow. He was like, yo, like tag along. This will be really cool.
Hoorah.
We pull up and there is an entire team just in Shamcow like gear. Like shirt is cow print with, and he did his like the Shamcow signature on it. It's wild. They loved him.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, Shamcow, Shamcow. And they're asking him a million questions. You ever been arrested? No more questions, child.
The one kid was like, I want to do graffiti like you. And he was like, you can't, you don't do graffiti like me, please.
He's like, no.
They're like, but you do it. And he was like, well, you should.
It's like, don't worry about what I do. All right.
Dude, it's weird too, because when we film with him, it'll be like minimum like 3 drinks in every time. Every time he's like got some beer or wine or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude, the kids love me.
Yeah, dude, like when he was spray painting, or when he was painting this site, like when we showed up, he had like just an IPA. He was just drinking. He was like, all right, we got to go see some kids. Just pour the rest out. All right, we got to go teach the youth.
Yeah, but it was wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that they talk about him in art class. And
Yeah,
that they
that's
used him as like a model for, all right, where today's lesson is about tagging and graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of them are like, oh, heck yeah, I get to do it. I get to copy my favorite artist.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. That's some kids, especially kids that like grow up to be graffiti artists. They'll be like, Shamcow is my hero.
Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Shamcow dies fighting alligator.
Dude, there was a what's it called? There was a copycat artist who like replicated his stuff and submitted it to an art gallery.
And they accepted it.
Yeah, in Roxborough. It's like a Roxborough art gallery. And yeah, they accepted it and it was being listed for $2,800 in the art gallery.
Yeah, bro.
And they were like, they called him. They're like, "Yo, Sham, like, thank you so much for this piece. Like, we love it. Like, someone's gonna love it." And he was like, "What piece?"
I didn't give you guys anything.
They're like, "No shot." And he was like, "Yeah, I didn't give you guys anything."
Dude.
So they had to go through a whole process to take
Mhm.
it down. And if there were any buyers, they had to be like, "Yo, sorry, we're gonna have to actually cut this one off right now."
Well, I want to say he ended up making a custom one for
Yeah,
them.
I think so too. Which is still crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy that he like.
Is in an art gallery.
Yeah.
That's epic, dude. And we know him. Kinda.
Chill guy.
Yeah, chill guy.
He's coming out with a Shamcow IPA, like actually like not him spray painting or like graffitiing anything. It's like professionally done with
Mm-hmm.
brewing. What is it called? Twisted Ginger Brewing.
Yeah,
Company?
yeah.
Yeah, they're coming out with their own like Shamcow IPA, in I think like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty hyped for that.
Cam, you ever been to Twisted Gingers? Dale, you ever been to Twisted Gingers?
I've heard a lot about it. I haven't gone. I heard their pizza's fire too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
heard
it-
nothing about it except that they're having Shamcow
Mhm.
drink. They should make milkshakes.
Well, I mean, this is cool. This will open up like a line of like collabs that he can do with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or like, dude, a Shamcow like ice cream would be hype at I don't know, like Tubby Robot or something. Like that could
Whoa.
be sick. Or, like,
What?
and it'd be like vanilla, like chocolate vanilla, or like I don't.
Dude,
know.
yeah. Actually, that'd be sick. Tubby Robot, we know that you watch our podcast, and if you steal that, we're collecting royalties, and we're gonna send you a cease and assist as well. That would be funny. Yeah, and then for the cease and assist, we have just like a public trial, like a witch trial in front of the portal.
Oh, the Philly portal.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
wild.
Europeans, this is what you're missing. This is what a real empire looks like. I'm sorry, I made ice cream.
Dude,
Burn.
did you see there was like a marching band
Yeah.
in front of it?
Yeah, Philly Elmo was
Yeah.
there.
I think doing it in Philly is probably wild because it stays in Dublin, you know, or the one is stayed in Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about the other two, but I know for a fact that it stayed in Dublin. So they're like, okay, we saw New York, like that was cool, like they were chill. Like Philly is probably the same.
Mm-hmm.
Next day, a human Elmo in a marching band performing in front of it.
Everyone dancing.
I'm excited to do some bits in
Dude,
front
yeah.
of that.
It was cool going to the portal though. I was really expecting a much larger crowd to be there. Dude, there's no one there.
Yeah. At first.
It's funny because when we left and came back, there were oddly more people. I think people just didn't know about it.
On the first like real good night of drinking for Halloween, like Friday, I want to say, after hours, it was like there's a huge crowd.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of people's stories.
Dude, we should go there for Halloween, like on Halloween. I might have plans for Halloween too. So if like, if you guys want to partake.
All right, fine.
I fine, twist my arm. I'll dress up like Nacho Libre and get faced. Oh, my bad. I gotta stop cursing and get poop faced. I feel like that sounds way worse. Sounds like predatory tactics in the jungle. Like the deer won't be able to smell me if I'm just covered in all of it. Dude, how is your For You page right now?
Yeah, dude, it's always now. It's like just news related stuff,
Okay.
like or like informative. At least my TikTok For You page.
Oh,
My Instagram Reels is always a gamble. That's it. That'll never not just be a gamble.
yeah. Dude, my TikTok For You page right now is insane. And I don't know if anyone else has the same stuff, but I'm sure there's a very niche demographic that has the same For You page as me. They will just play like clips from Dexter, and the joke is me, like a straight A student, being the urinal pooper. And then it'll be like me getting interrogated by like the principal, or me thinking I'm getting interrogated by the principal, but in reality, they're just having me help find the urinal pooper.
But it's me the whole time.
Yeah, but it's me the whole time. It's like when the janitor catches me. It's like when Dexter is like about to like off, some guy. Wait, pause. Or, yeah. I'm trying to think of like any of the other ones.
Yeah, yours is always wild.
Yeah, dude, I saw one and it's really funny. I was like, it's funny because it went right from like some David Goggins clip and then just goes, it's just a still picture of a moth. And he's like, brother, I yearn for the forbidden lamp. And he's just staring at the sun. And he's like, no, brother, resist its pull. And it goes on for 3 minutes. 3 minutes on TikTok, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched a 3-minute TikTok?
Yeah, dude.
What?
I've watched like some long TikToks. There's one dude, Xavier. He's the dude who's like, see, Sean had a problem. Like that guy. Dude, his will go on for like 4 minutes and it'll be like the Diddy investigation or like some wild shit. Like it's always like conspiracy stuff like that. Or like not conspiracy or it'll just be like a story, but it's just always an interesting story. And those go on for like 4.5 minutes. Dude, I'm locked in for all 4.5 minutes.
Dude, I wonder if we can get Bobby on here. I mean, we know his schedule. It's a great call. Sorry, Cam.
I just watched there's this guy or these YouTubers and they posted just like what we would do, where it was like they just post their full YouTube video just in like 4 parts, but they were all like 3-minute long parts. And I just watched the full, just one part. And it was like they hired 2 like ex-military or Marine, what's the word? Like whatever the detectives are, I guess, in their sector of whatever part of the army or military they were. Dude. And they're like, all right, we have an hour to hide. And it's 3 of us. And it's like, we can go and the one dude was straight up buried like under
Oh,
a tree, and his face
yeah.
was painted like a tree. So he was just at the base of it. And then they had an hour to find him. They found him all in like 30 minutes.
Oh.
He took the longest. Yeah. The first
Yeah,
dude.
with the face.
Yeah. The first dude was like, he had a whole costume of trash and like a thing of trash above his head and just hid in a trash can. Found him in 7 minutes.
It's like, bro, never commit a crime.
Yeah, dude. They were like, yeah, they were nice with it. But yeah, they just posted their video in like 4 parts, and they're all like 3-minute long parts. Watched all of them.
How do you think if you were being pursued by cops, how would you hide?
Not like that in the trash. I'll tell you that much. They sniffed that out immediately. No, somewhere. Well, if you're doing it like outside, definitely somewhere in trees or something, because you know there's there's like 2 trash cans. There's a handful of trash cans in a house.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're on like how they were on a property, there's like 50 trees.
Mm-hmm.
Like
a million trees.
Yeah, I'd probably do something like tree related or dirt related.
The dirt one, that one's definitely, and wearing a dirt mask.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge. But I feel like with the dirt mask, our brains are so good at like recognizing faces. So even if there's like a little, just the 2 divots in the mouth, like you're screwed, dude.
But what they did with the trees, they're like, okay, like I guess we can just check each tree. I don't even know. And they're like, and then they noticed on the ground, they were like, I don't know what it was, like if they were like prints or like they're snapped like branches or something, but they're like, someone was here.
Yeah.
So then they just found them. They're like, oh yeah. And then they like brush some stuff away. Like, yeah, he's right here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
The branches snap, dude, smelling it. Just someone here wearing Reeboks walked an hour ago. They're like, what the hell? How did you know that? I just see a Reebok on the floor right there. He's just laying down. Nuh-uh.
The other dude was like on a horse, but he was like, he had a saddle over him. So it kind of looked, it was like weird. It kind of looked like
it was supposed to look like it was just a horse.
Yeah, it was supposed to look like a horse with a saddle and like a blanket over the saddle. But then they just saw it and they're like, that looks weird. That looks off.
Why the fuck is there a horse here?
But initially they were like, there was a dude like,
I'm sorry.
but initially there was a dude like just walking around with the horse, and they were like, that's a little suspicious. Like, I feel like this is kind of a setup. So they went over. They're like, oh yeah, there's a guy underneath that. Dude.
Dude, remember Mr. Beast's video
There's no way that was your sneeze.
where they had to like hide in the stadium? And don't worry about my sneeze. And Mark Rober just hid in like a little trash cart or something, and the janitor just kept walking around.
Mm-hmm.
That one was smart.
Yeah, and then towards the end, they're like, this janitor's just on like 5 laps. So, dude, but he paid the janitor like $200 to like just push him around for the whole challenge. And then Mr. Beast came around and he was like, he did something and he was like, I will pay you $400 right now to stop what you're doing and let me check this. Or like something like that.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, those challenges are always good. Except the dudes that did it so much better with the
Police.
like the ex-police or like ex-detectives or whatever.
Mr. Beast tried to do that, but it was like really not staged, but like pretty staged.
Yeah.
Where it was like, bro had like pre-planned levels. You know? He was like, this is gonna be my getaway. And if he sees me, I'm gonna, have a smoke bomb here. Nah, dude. I'm putting dirt all over my face and hiding under a horse. I'm hiding up a horse's ass, dude.
Trojan horse, that shit.
Yeah. Dude, I remember when like the AI images first started coming out. They had one, and it was like a selfie of like, I actually don't know. Wait, was it Trojan horse? Was that made by like the people of Troy, or is that a gift for the people of Troy?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was a gift for the people of Troy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me Google it though.
Yeah.
I don't
Lord
want
Dylan, the all-knowing,
I don't want us
please.
to get called out for being wrong about things. Because here at YUNKJunk, we're right about everything.
Mm-hmm.
We don't spread misinformation.
Which brings us.
Which brings us some things about Cam that he can't defend about. One,
Yeah. The Greeks made it for, and then left it outside the gates of Troy as an offering to Athena, the goddess.
Epic. I thought Troy was also in Greece.
Maybe they're having a little civil war.
Yeah, maybe at the time they didn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't as grand as it used to be.
I'll move accepting that gift.
Yeah, so I saw it was like the AI, and it was a bunch of like Trojan soldiers taking a screenshot, and they had a big wooden horse, and they're like, "Stupid loser Greeks gave us this dumb horse." Dude, I got my shoes. I'm so fucking hyped for them.
Mm.
I'm so hyped to be back running. I tried them on. They're lightweight. Feels great.
Yeah, dude, they were comfy as they're very comfy.
Mm-hmm.
I do. In my head, Under Armour isn't like a huge running shoe company, or to me, it's like
socks.
Yeah, socks and like maybe basketball shoes or
and backpacks.
Yeah. They're comfy though.
Yeah, no, dude, it's really comfy. But they are really comfy. But I am worried for how cold out it's gonna be. Because like running in the cold for like an hour-ish is fine, but everything post an hour, your body just goes, okay, done being really toasty.
This sucks.
Time to just be normal again. It's like, oh, okay, like I understand the vibe now. We're going to be running for an indefinite amount of time.
Mm.
We're going to cool down now. And then you get really cold. So I was looking up what is the ideal clothing for the winter. All right. Imagine the worst snowstorm of all time, and we're in it. What are you wearing? Oh, I looked this up. Actually, ChatGPT just told me. But, all right, first layer, you wear like the tights, like the spandex, the polyester, the nice stuff. Apparently, you're supposed to wear that because it wicks away your sweat, which I don't really know what that means, but I'm pretty sure, I was led to believe that it literally just moves your sweat to the surface of like whatever material it is. So instead of like the bottom being wet and then eventually just the entire material, it just, I don't know how that works, but I believe it's voodoo magic.
Yeah.
So first layer, spandex. Second layer, fleece or merino wool. Both are really good. Fleece is definitely a lot cheaper. And you do that because one, fleece is really warm because there are like a ton of layers and it just like traps all the nice hot air inside of it. And the third layer, that's gonna be your weatherproof layer. It's like anything that's wind resistant, water resistant, other kinds of resistant.
So what's the ideal? It's spandex. Fleece.
Mm-hmm. And
windbreaker.
Then windbreaker.
Gotcha.
And then it said 2 pairs of socks. You had like tight socks, nice comfy socks, and then those nice wool socks.
Wool socks are hype. Wait, so why is it fleece over wool?
The fleece is just often a lot cheaper.
Okay.
But also apparently when like most wool, merino wool is different, but most wools, they like once they get wet and cold,
mm-hmm.
they just remain wet and cold. Where like a lot of fleece, it seems like even when it's like pretty wet, because there's so many layers and a lot of air pockets in it, it'll still like remain insulated with that hot air for longer. So now, if for some reason we go to Alaska this winter, we'll be set up, dude. Dill, do you know who Andrew Huberman is?
I've heard the name, not familiar with anything that he does.
Oh.
Dude, Andrew Huberman is sick.
Dude.
He's the man.
He is like, it's funny because I feel like most dudes have like their ideal, like, oh, this is their idol. This is what I want to be as a man. You know, where it's like, you know, some people, not me, would be like, oh, I want to be like Sylvester Stallone, you know, or like someone's like, oh, I want to be like Ronnie Coleman, you know. I feel like everyone pretty much agrees Andrew Huberman is the guy. Where it's like, dude's super intelligent, like in great shape, knows a ton about health, well dressed, ladies like him, and he's rich as heck, and then also just has a successful podcast. You know?
Yeah, he's a professor.
Yeah, well,
Professor in neurobiology at Stanford. I think that's what it is.
that's a crazy title, dude.
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like most people, if they had that title, they would just be like, that's all I do. It's like, it takes all my time. He's like, no.
Nah, sick podcast.
It's like, I'm going to tell you about microplastics for 2 hours.
But it's cool because he's someone that like just has a really like really in-depth like medical like and scientific background, but he'll bring up these topics that like we all want to talk about. And it's not like, oh, the blank effects of like taking this medicine, what, like it's like fun stuff like there's a bunch of microplastics in your water.
Yeah.
Or it'll be, this is why you need to get this much amount of sun in the first like however like an hour of the day, because then it'll affect you. Like I don't know, he makes it very like mainstream or like general.
Yeah. I like that his thing is not like, oh, this is a niche topic. It's like everyone wants to be healthy. Everyone wants to like be a better, healthier version of themselves. But a lot of times they just don't know where to read all this information, or just like they just don't want to read all that information. You know? But if you have like an hour commute to work there and back every day, and you want to learn that information, you now have condensed entertaining, a little subjective here. You've condensed learning of that topic. So it's pretty epic. So this dope guy, he made a podcast about microplastics. I listened to the whole thing. Great listen. I'm not going to link it because he's our competition. So here's the Roca podcast as well. But like the top comment of his video, it said, oh, well, so like in the episode, he was talking about how like microplastics get like obviously in your bloodstream from like consuming a lot of like plastics, but also like it'll get in your brain, and then also like in women's ovaries, and also like in my balls. And so the comment goes, Andrew, how do I get microplastics out of my balls? Respectfully. And I posted that on my story. And I tagged Andrew Huberman, and he saw the post and he liked it.
That's what's up.
Greatest moment of my life, dude.
Did he ever answer how to get the said plastic out of?
Yeah, he said it in the episode, which I thought was funny. So the kid just made that comment and just like clearly didn't listen to the whole episode. You know, I'll spoil it for you. It's like eating broccoli. Eating a lot of broccoli. He said cauliflower too, but he like emphasized more on broccoli because it just is denser in vitamins. Apparently it like has this one vitamin that I can't pronounce or read, and that like vitamin is huge for, I want to say it's your liver, that like, you know, cleans out your blood and like, you know, gets all the microplastics out, and that's just like prime fuel for it. So he just recommends like, well, obviously, you know, to get yourself out of the hole, you got to put down the shovel first. So it's like avoid avoid drinking out of like plastic bottles and stuff like that. And then also on top of that, like when you're not drinking like out of plastic bottles, you're not like eating out of plastic containers and stuff like that, you know, then continue eating broccoli. Because like apparently from all the plastics just everywhere in society, the average person eats 1 credit card worth of plastic a week, which is crazy.
Those are rookie numbers. I'm trying to get that a day.
Yeah, dude. Here at Ligma Ki, we eat 1 credit card a day to throw off that median. That average is up because of us.
Yeah.
We're trying to get it to 2 a week. So everyone comment down below how many credit cards you ate this week. And then we'll gift a Chipotle burrito to anyone that eats an Amex Platinum Rewards card.
Definitely just metal, yeah.
Yeah. You know what's metal? Eating a metal credit card. That's how you get it done. David Goggins won't do it. Anyone a part of the Ligma Ki frat will do that. Speaking of, that leads us to today's sponsor. Well, YUNKJunk, obviously, thank you. But today's sponsor is microplastics. Have you ever wanted to clog all of your veins, arteries, and your brain, your ovaries, and your balls? Well, now you can. All you have to do is just put your plastic water bottle in the microwave and chug it as fast as possible. It's even better if you just want to boil it.
Getting that 1 credit card a day.
Something you can also do to get more microplastics in your system is you can just live in a city. Any city that is filled with trash, burnt rubber, or anything. It is also just in the air. So remember, always mouth breathe when you're in a dirty city. So thank you, microplastics, for all of the joy that you have given to us. And thank you, microplastics, for allowing this podcast to happen.
Dude, that's wild. Wait, all right. Before we get too off topic, did he say what to do? Like the alternative, just like get a Brita, or because I also read that those like don't really, that certain Britas, you know, I'm not putting out any, but I've seen a lot of things that a lot of filters don't do a whole lot. So like, what am I supposed to do?
He named a few filters. The one he kept saying it's called reverse osmosis filter. But the problem in that is you have to like revitamize or remineralize a lot of the waters. But he was like, he just recommended like the best ways. He named a few like big contributors to plastic, but it was like water bottles, especially if they were warm. But like plastic water bottles, you got to think, you know, they're manufactured in a factory and they're filled with water and then just shipped over here. And a lot of the time in those like big cargo containers, they're heated up, they're sitting on like waiting docks, you know, they're on hot like buses and trucks and all this stuff. And they're even in like the hot back of the store and maybe even your trunk. So it's just constantly heating up. And that's like when all the microplastics come off. Kind of like how like all your that skin will come off when you're not moisturized. That is like similar to how microplastics will come off when they're just heated up. He also, dude, he mentioned a few other things. He was like plastic. He mentioned plastic containers were like for food. He was like, just use glass containers, especially if you're putting hot food in like Tupperware. He said, avoid canned soup. That was a really funny one because canned soup, the aluminum cans, you're like, oh, it's aluminum. That's fine. Metal's fine. No, dude. They're lined with plastic to maintain flavor. AKA survive the apocalypse. So the soup, when it's poured into the cans, is hot. Yeah. You know, so you just have all those nice microplastics just sitting there. It's a delicacy in some places. This place.
So what I'm hearing is I have to invest in mason jars.
All right, fine. We'll get more mason jars.
All right.
Twist my arm.
Dude, I love mason jars.
Dude, mason jars are dank.
Yeah.
And they're American. American invention. I only have things that are American inventions. That's why I have a smartphone that uses the internet. And also, we went to the moon. No one else did. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff before like we end. It was so plastic containers. He also said, oddly enough, when you get hot coffee, the little paper cups, they are lined with plastic.
Yeah, they are.
Where it's like, what are we doing? So, he just recommends having a thermos.
Pull up to a Starbucks with a thermos.
Yeah,
just slam it down.
You can just do that. Yeah.
Another,
please. More coffee.
How much you think? How much you think it is to like? How much you think it would be? How much would I be charged to fill up like a big thermos of coffee?
It just, I'm sure they have like actual numbers, but like, say it's like a 32-ounce thermos. I'm sure they would just charge you what the equivalent of like 32 ounces of coffee will cost them.
Yeah.
You know, but you could also show up, like, you don't have to have a big thermos. Like that small thermos I used to have, and then let's just say lost.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, I think 10 ounces. Yeah, so I go up and I'm like, hey, this is 10 ounces. And they're like, okay, I don't care. I work at Starbucks. Here's your coffee. Please leave. I'd be like, that's fair. If I worked at a Starbucks, I'd be so rude.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have the patience for that.
It looks like it gets really intense there.
Yeah. He's like, excuse me, I asked for 1 pump of caramel and you gave me 1.35.
I measured.
You're like, that's pretty cool. Can I see that glass container, please? I'm just gonna start chewing on all of the glass. Yeah, I'll probably think of some more stuff, but it's mostly like plastic water bottles and like Tupperware and canned soup.
Weird.
So like, but he really emphasized when it's heated up.
Yeah.
So like this is probably fine because like they were cold.
Except for all the shipping and everything.
Yeah. But like, it would be an extra double whammy if we're like, it's a hot summer day and we're like, dude, I'm dead, and you're just downing it. Yeah. But he also emphasized that it's like pretty tough to avoid.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the main issue isn't the microplastics, because the microplastics, like your body can retrieve pretty easily. If you have a ton, it's like your body can only do so much. But the real issue you talked about was nanoplastics.
And what's same thing?
It's like, dude, much smaller.
But I mean, it's like it's in the same, like in water bottles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we used to think that like we used to think that we'd have these like big clumps of microplastics. We're like, oh, okay, it's just a big microplastic. And now our like tech is a lot more advanced, and you know, like the pictures are higher quality and the lighting's better and all this stuff. And now we like have been able to like look at those big clumps of microplastics, or like those big chunks of microplastics, and they're actually giant clumps of nanoplastics. And the nanoplastics are the ones that will get into your brain or your ovaries, you know, or your jewels.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So more broccoli.
Yeah, more
broccoli.
broccoli.
Glass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm chill with that.
Thank you, YUNKJunk, for having us on this podcast. If you guys want to have your own podcast and don't want to deal with any of the lighting or any of the camera work or any of the BS that no one wants to do, try making a podcast with YUNKJunk, because we'll do that for you. YUNKJunk is where we film these, and we're also interning for them. They're a podcast studio that rents out to film and produce other people's podcasts, including this one right now. So right now, as I'm filming this podcast, I don't have to worry about if the lighting's right, or if the camera's in focus, or if the mic is actually picking up my audio. All I have to worry about is making the best podcast possible, and you can do that by emailing. What's your email again?
It is Dylan@YUNKJunk.com, DYLAN@YUNKJunk.com. Email me, and I'll email you back. I promise.
He promises.
He approves the message. All right. All right, bye, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks, Cam. And Borman.
Yeah.
YUNKJunk!